What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We are set for another huge week in the markets. We have some crazy earnings set for this week. We're not going to waste any time. So, Tom, let's get right into today's video.
Yeah, Mike, we have some insane earnings this week, and there's going to be a ton of big ones reporting. We have Peloton, Enphase, Chipotle, Corsair. Going throughout the week, we have Disney, Twilio, even iRobot. And then on Thursday, we have Twitter, Affirm, and Under Armour. Guys, I'm really keeping my eyes on Peloton. Let me know which earnings play is your favorite in the comments down below. We are going to be so interested to see what you guys are watching this week. I know a ton of people are probably going to be watching Peloton, Disney, Twitter, Affirm, stocks like that. But let us know in the comments down below. There's just so many big ones, and I just can't wait to see what everyone's looking at.
I'm watching Disney, Tom. I've been watching Disney for months, and it's been struggling like a lot of other stocks have been. But at the end of the day, Disney's a solid company, and they have some huge things in the works in terms of their growing Disney Plus. But also, they have that, I guess you can say, pending deal with either Caesars or DraftKings to implement sports betting with their ESPN program. On top of that, they've been filing a couple patents lately to adapt to the metaverse too. So I'm very curious to see how their most recent earnings quarter was, but also their outlook for the future.
Yeah, that outlook is going to be huge. And, we saw some big streaming companies like Netflix tank down on their earnings. So that does worry me a little bit for Disney. But unlike Netflix, Disney has a lot of other ways they can make money from their parks, just from selling stuff. And just also they have all those royalties for anything that has Disney on it or any Disney characters. So they have a lot of stuff that they can do to go ahead and make more profits than Netflix. So I'm really hoping that they can weather this storm and start to, go back on the uptrend. And I will say, Mike, they closed pretty strong on Friday. We can see in after hours, they actually had a pretty nice uptrend there.
Yeah, so I'm really watching Disney, and Tom, it has been a wild past couple weeks, and it looks like the volatility is not going to stop anytime soon. Like, we have a lot of other big companies reporting, and like even last week with Amazon stock just blasted up 13.5%. Facebook stock got absolutely destroyed. Snapchat stock exploded on Friday, up just under 60%. So it's like, Tom, like lately there have not just been like little moves. Like we're seeing gigantic moves off of earnings. So it's like, I bet it's going to continue.
Yeah, I would bet it does. And looking at Disney, like they're at such a key level. If we look at them on like a 1-year daily chart, they've been falling down. They bounced right off of that 130 support. Now they're kind of consolidating along that 140 support. So looking pretty good here as a nice setup into the earnings. And I'm really hoping this one gets one of those nice uptrends, Mike. Like you said, we had some pretty bad ones like Netflix tanked down. Even Facebook, like you said, had that huge drop. So I'm really hoping that Disney can come out with some good numbers. Like we said earlier, I think that they have a lot of other ways to weather the storm here, like I mentioned. And I just feel like they're at a great price point at $140. And one other thing to keep in mind is that as some of these bigger stocks like Netflix started falling, Disney kind of fell down in sympathy with them. So maybe they'll start to, go back up since this was already priced in a little bit.
Yep, we shall see. And another one I definitely want to touch on is Peloton. They are blasting up in after hours. They are set to report earnings on Tuesday after close. They're blasting up. They closed on Friday at around $24.60. In after hours on Friday, they ran all the way up to $35.25. And there's some news that they might be acquired by Amazon. So it's a rumor. It's not official so far, but Amazon is looking into a potential deal with Peloton. So Peloton's going to be crazy this week because, of course, we have the potential Amazon acquisition, but, they also report earnings.
Yeah, they do. And that's going to be pretty big for Peloton. Peloton's had a lot of negative stuff associated with their stock lately. Like you said, they had that nice after hours move. They're going to open all the way up around $31. The thing is, Mike, that's a great move for Peloton. But to be honest, they still have a long way to go. They had that huge gap where they fell from 85 down to $60. And I'm really hoping we can at least get back up to like $40 or $60 over the next few weeks. I think that would be really nice, but it's always good to hear that you have a really big company looking to buy you out like Amazon. That's always great news. And we've even seen other deals going on lately, kind of like with Activision. You can see Activision got a big jump who was going to buy
Microsoft.
Activision again?
Yeah, Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft. That's right. Yeah, whenever Microsoft announced that, you can see Activision had a huge jump. So hopefully this can help Peloton out because honestly, that was pretty similar charts with the way they were dying off like that.
True that. Alrighty, Tom. So, what other big news do we have for this week?
Yeah, this week's going to be insane, Mike. There's so many big data points coming out. And one of the biggest one is the CPI data actually coming out on Thursday. We can see we're going to have the core inflation rate coming out and just a whole bunch of numbers associated with inflation Thursday morning. So definitely be ready for that. Last week, the non-farm payrolls released, which showed the U.S. economy added 467,000 jobs in January. And we can see that this was actually a pretty big surprise to investors. And the S&P 500 had a pretty big explosion on Friday, Mike. I know that it was down a lot in pre-market, but these numbers came in way better than expected. Some companies were expecting the economy to lose as much as 400,000 jobs in some cases, but we ended up adding 467,000 jobs. It really shocked investors, and the market had a pretty good explosion. We did fall down at the end of day Friday, but I will say that move up was pretty nice considering what was going on in pre-market. So we'll have to look at that CPI data for this week. It's going to be very important to look at. I know the Feds have been gauging those numbers a lot lately, and the overall tech sector has been taking a beating with the Fed raising rates lately.
True that. All right, interesting stuff there. And I also know we have a couple updates with the Russia and Ukraine situation, Tom. So tell us more.
Yeah, the Russia-Ukraine situation is not getting better by any means. We can see CNBC made a really good article here. They pretty much said that the Russian forces are at 70% of the level needed for a full Ukraine invasion, U.S. officials say. Now, there's no real way to tell that, once they get at 100% if they're going to invade or not, but they're pretty much saying that they are massing a lot of troops at the border there. You can see that they've been bringing some battalion tactical groups to the border. Apparently it rose from 60 groups up to 83 last Friday, and 14 more are in transit. So we'll just have to monitor this situation, Mike. Obviously nothing too big has happened yet. Hopefully there's no invasion, but if there is an invasion, just definitely look at the oil markets and definitely the overall market, because obviously war is not good. And as we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks, whenever there's some conflict, the S&P 500 has generally been going down. So hopefully we can get this issue resolved sooner rather than later.
True that. All right, so while we're looking at the S&P 500, Tom, what are some main levels to watch on the SPY for this week?
Yeah, last week on Friday, Mike, we came down and actually double bottomed on Friday right at that 444 support. I think that 444 is going to be a huge level to look at this week. It's been a big level for the past few weeks. So looking at it, we got some bounces there last week. That's going to be a huge support to look at. As far as resistance to the upside, there is a ton of resistance at 452.50. So if you're looking to trade the S&P 500, at least on Monday or Tuesday this week, 452.50 and 444 are going to be the main supports and resistances to look at. But as the SPY starts to rise, there's also a big resistance up here around 457.50 to 458. So definitely keep that in mind as well. But I really like that 444 support, Mike. We've been bouncing off of that a ton. And if we fall below it, I could see the market starting to sell off in a pretty major way.
Sounds good. All right. Well, with that being said, I just want to give a giant shout out to our member of the day, and that is Gain Dreamer. Huge shout out, Gain Dreamer. Thanks so much for all of your positivity and activity in the Stocked Up Discord group. We really appreciate you. But then, Tom, let's shift over into the dashboard. We just want to give a little update with that. So if you guys are looking to analyze any stock within seconds, you can definitely check out our brand new dashboard. It's that first link in the description down below. You can type in any stock and instantly have access to 10 years worth of historical financial data, and it'll show you exactly what is moving the stock. We have some awesome updates in the works with this one. So if you do decide to sign up, All future updates are completely free. And like I said, we have some crazy, crazy, crazy updates in the works with this one. The price will definitely be rising in the future, and I'm very excited to announce the new updates. So that'll be coming in a couple weeks. So definitely be on the lookout for that. But then, Tom, let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. And with the first one, we have Chewy to the upside.
Yeah, good old Chewy. Go ahead and make them break out above $50.50. That was a pretty good top up there.
Good old Chewy's not looking bad, Tom. It's actually had a really good day on Friday.
Yeah, it did. It recovered up. It broke that like almost double top of the week last week. It was looking really explosive, especially early on.
Awesome. All right, with the next one, we have Square, which has been struggling quite a bit lately.
Yeah, they're struggling. They're actually double bottoming at this $100 support. Go ahead and make them break out above $110.20. If they break that, then try to make them break out above 111.
All righty, and with the last one, we have Run.
Yeah, RUN, some of these solar companies, go ahead and make RUN break out above $26.
Sounds great. So we're watching these 3 plays for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. With that being said, Tom, do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up today's video?
Yeah, the market's going to be crazy. Like I said earlier, we're going to have some insane earnings coming up this week. Like I said, I'm going to be watching Peloton. Don't forget to let us know in the comments down below which earnings reports you guys are most interested in. I know a lot of people, like I said earlier, are going to be interested in Disney, Affirm, Twitter, big stocks like that. So definitely let us know in the comments. I'm really interested in Peloton. They've been taking some pretty big hits lately. And Mike, I feel like that news with Amazon potentially buying them is huge. You know, we can see how big of a pop they got in after hours, and those acquisitions usually bring in some pretty big hype. So we'll have to keep our eyes on Peloton for this week, but overall, it's going to be a crazy week, lots of earnings, and I really hope to see the S&P 500 hold up. You know, last week was not the best. We did have a good Monday and Tuesday, but to end the week, it was just kind of all over the place. So I'm hoping that we just finally see a good, clear direction and get some good movement, at least in either way.
Let's go, Tom. Let's go. So let us know what stocks you're watching in the comments down below. We're set for a wild week. We have some crazy earnings on the way. So be prepared for that volatility. Besides that, if you guys enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing. We post brand new videos every single day. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching.